I'm going to share with you Shelli, how she went from 0 to 200K in 60 days. And I'm going to show you not only step-by-step process, but exactly how you could do something similar. You're going to need a lot more process around it, but I'm going to show you how to do that. And I'm also going to show you the exact brand, demand, and delivery system she used to actually pull this together. So let me just first of all introduce you to Shelli. Shelli, as you can see, she has been a successful. You can actually find her, by the way, on LinkedIn and reach out to her because this is not made up. And by the way, I've written 3 books, and one of them has become a Wall Street Journal bestseller, and I've trained 70,000 people in the way they should go to market. So this is something that I've practiced for a number of years, and you can look at my background as well. And the reason I'm doing this video is because most people say, well, I want to go fractional, but I really don't know how to go about it. And how much time will I have? Would I have the revenue? How do I get my first client? And so this whole process, I'm just literally going to use Shelli as an example of how she went from 0 to 200K using a simple and straightforward, not easy, but simple and straightforward brand, demand, and delivery process. So here we go. So first of all, Shelli, like as you can see over here, she has been on LinkedIn for a while. You can see her, she has a title, she has a banner up there. But one of the things that she's doing very clearly is that she's announcing and being very clear about who she serves. So as you can see over here, right in the about section, you can see she says, well, I fix growth stalls for mid-market, BPO, ITO, NCX, AI, COS. Now, most people don't know what that is because that's not the niche that you probably focus on, but the people who know exactly what that is, people who are in BPOs, people who are in ITOs, people who are actually looking for growth stalls in the mid-market BPO process, they know exactly because there are not that many people. So lesson number 1 right off the bat is that she's very, very precise and specific about what niche she is focused on and what problems she's solving and who, more specifically, who she's solving for. Now the question becomes, well, how do you, right? When you write comments, when you write posts, and when you get the right people, and when they see that you do that, the first obvious question in your customer mind is like, well, how do you solve for the problem? How do you know you can solve my problem? I know you're using the language and you clearly represent the niche that I'm in, but how do you solve my problem? So this is the second part. On her LinkedIn profile, you can see the services where she's using a go-to-market assessment, a 90-day growth research, and on-demand leadership solution. She's literally showing exactly how she's helping so many folks specifically across these 3 verticals. Now, if you are a go-to-market leader in any of these companies whose growth is stalling and they need somebody who has a business leadership experience, guess what? If she's one of the person who's looking for it and they come across Shelli and they come across a random person who actually says, hey, I'm really, really good. And guess what? The other person, and maybe that's you, might be really, really good at this, but Shelli has business knowledge and experience. And that's why right now, if you have 10, 15, 20 years of experience in any industry, in any niche, in any segment, that's the best way to do it. So I'm going to show you exactly how she went from 0 to 260 days using a process that is very specific and bespoke. So first, I call this the brand system. In the brand system, you can see her LinkedIn profile is very clear. You see the assessment link right underneath her profile. Check that out. That is literally how she generated leads. So it's a white label assessment that is available. So when people do a specific, like, hey, I want to just do this free assessment, she gets the lead and she knows who is reaching out to them. Again, her LinkedIn is very specific to that particular segment who are in mid-market, BPO, ITO, CX, as she says. Number 2, she's also listed on something called as go-to-marketplace. Go-to-marketplace happens to be a place where there are over 40 plus go-to-market leaders from all over the world who are certified in the go-to-market operating system. This allows her to have certain level of credibility that she's among the elite. You want to hire a Navy SEAL if you want to solve a big problem. That's literally what fractional is. Fractionals are Navy SEALs, but they need to be deployed on a particular project that has a clear parameters. You can't just put somebody in legal tech who has no experience around the legal tech business and everything they've done is in construction. That's when you spend a lot more time, and you don't want to do that. Most executives don't want to have people with broad experience. They want deep expertise. And that's why anyone who's listening to this video has 10, 20, 30 years of experience. You are absolutely in the best time where you get valued for the work that you do. So you can see from a brand system perspective, she got her LinkedIn profile clear, because anytime you're searching around it, and if her LinkedIn profile, they will go to it and they will see, oh, I can do the assessment. I see you can do a 90-day reset. I see this is what you work on. At least they will be willing to have a chat. Here's another one quick thing she did. Part of making sure that everybody in your network knows that's what you do. This is the hardest part that most people miss. So listen carefully. If you do this one thing, it's going to change the number of people and number of clients you could get. Once she figured out her messaging, positioning, and all of that, she's announced on LinkedIn that she's a GTM OS certified partner. Guess what it does? LinkedIn knows that's a new job. LinkedIn is a networking platform. So that's why as soon as LinkedIn figures out you have a new job and you create that, there is a button that says, hey, if you want to notify entire network, all of your followers, all of your connections, and if you say yes, it literally messages everybody, all the followers, that hey, you have started this new thing. And now that drives all these people to your profile. I'm like, hey, congratulations. And they comment, and now everybody in your network knows it. Trust me, I've done another video on this where your first 5 clients are literally gonna come directly from your network. Why? Because you've already built all the credibility. That's why I keep saying if you have 10, 15, 20 years of experience, this is custom made for you. So to recap, your brand system is made up of how you show up on LinkedIn, how you message very specifically who you are and what you solve for, how you get listed on the marketplace, and how do you announce to the world that you are ready and you are a GTM OS certified partner and you have credibility and now you're ready to work and you're open to work. Not just saying I'm a fractional. It's actually saying very specifically, this is what I do. So now that's her brand system. Now this is her demand system. These are literal screenshots from our Slack group where she shared. So when Shelli joined, you can see her Slack message that literally says on July 20th, Monday. So I have a timestamp of it. And again, these are real people. You can reach out to them. I'm not making this up. Shelli is saying, I just completed my GTM OS partner certification over the weekend and have landed 2 sales calls, 2 verbal, moving to contract for GTM projects. Boom. Okay, take a pause. She literally completed the entire certification, which is about 6 to 8 hours, over the weekend, which means she's committed to driving goals. And this is the one thing that stops many people from having success. You might be one of them. I'm going to call you out. Might be watching a bunch of videos but not taking any action. Well, all the videos and knowledge in the world is not going to do any good unless you take action. That's what Shelli is. Shelli literally took a course and said, I'm going to do this over the weekend. And immediately, with all the confidence she could build from that, she landed with 2 sales calls and 2 verbals. I'm pretty sure they were the calls that she already had, but now she is having the confidence to get those sales calls to turn into verbal commits for contract. Well, guess what? About a couple of weeks later, August 12th, she is now saying she's following a process. She's saying, hey, I wanted to tell folks that sending the book, which is the Move book, which is part of the process to prospect, truly works. Prescribing, as I've shared in the group, that go and read 67 to 117 page. She said, I have 3 sales calls booked in next 5 days, all got the book. In fact, 1 book went to the VP of sales. She's a friendly. I love the transparency of all of this, right? This is you can't make this up. And she said she's a friendly who walked into the CEO's office, and the CEO just messaged me and told me he needs help. Now here you are, where the demand system now from a brand, because they probably have gone to the LinkedIn profile, seen if she's in the right space or not, does she understand the business and all that. So once you have the brand system and the demand system process, she's following a process. She's sending the book, she's sending the DM, she has the confidence, she has put the GTM OS on his signature and everywhere. So now people know as a GTM OS certified partner, she's known for something, and now she's actively following a process. Now here is the best part. Check this out. Literally 30 days later, September 12th, Friday, in our Slack group, she writes this: please join me, and I'm going to take away some details because I don't want to expose the client that she might be working with and all those things, and I've taken her permission for it. So please join me celebrating today to confirm we have a deal with the company to do one of the programs and process around it. It's an ICP flywheel, and across the 8 pillars, there's $25K for each, with 20 hours per month retainer for 6 months to shepherd the GTM process internally. Starts in 2 weeks, and you can see all the celebration of the group across the board. The point is, her demand system is literally, I got certified, I'm sending DMs, I have the confidence, I'm sending a book, I'm sending a course, I'm sending all the stuff that's outlined in the process, and I'm going to show you what that brand demand delivery system looks like in one slide, because I think it will help you think through that across the board, because you can do this. You absolutely can do this. And this timeline from July 20th of getting certified to August 12th to actually implementing the demand system to Friday, when now she's in what we call the delivery system. Now she's going to deliver how these projects are done, and that we have a separate recording for that. But I wanted to show you the brand demand delivery system. Like, she literally went from, if you do the math, from 0 to 200K, because 25K for the pillar, there are 8 pillars, so that's over 200K, but I'm just saying for easy math, 200K in less than 60 days. It's really 45 days. So when you look at this and say, well, is that possible? I'm doing another video with Sarah, who literally makes more money than a CMO out there, because she was a CMO before and she knows how they. So I'm doing that video as well, because there is a process, dude. You don't need to go crazy. You don't need to be doing selfies all day. You don't need to be doing cold calls. You don't need to be sending random messages because you have too big of a credibility. You have worked really hard to be there. So here's what I'm going to share with you as so you understand what the brand demand and delivery process looks like. We share this with the group. So the brand system is, as you saw, listing on the, you can see all these people listed on the marketplace. This is how the world knows you exist. LinkedIn profile, I just showed you Shelli. You can see it again, where Shelli's LinkedIn profile, the assessment, she's a GTM OS, the announcement, and the feature section is very clear, and all the different content that you could create and frameworks and all of that. Then you enter into what we call as a 10-week challenge, where we help you make sure that you have a 3 meetings a week process. We call that a demand system. In the demand system, you have our mood book that is sent with an assessment, a funnel that you can send, a workshop you can do. All of that is a one-to-one outreach with a target set of accounts to create your meetings. And then you have a delivery system, which is all about high margin products. If you could do a quarterly workshop, we call it the go-to-market planning, or you could do what Shelli did with the GTM OS pillars. So you can do 4 to 6 engagement per pillar. She sold it for 25K per pillar, and there are 8 pillars. So you can do the math on that, or you can do custom projects based on your expertise that you have. I'm exposing you to this brand demand delivery process is because it doesn't need to be rocket science. It took us literally 3.5 years to build a $6 million business for ourselves, and now we think that, oh, maybe others can do it. And now that we see somebody actually implementing, I literally show you the screenshots, you can check it out, it's a real person, you can do it too. And I want you to implement a brand demand delivery system in your organization. So I'll close you with this, and you can watch other videos. I'm going to do more around this idea, but do you have a system? And there's a quote that comes to mind over and over again, that people do not rise to the level of your goals, but they fall to the level of your systems. That's by James Clear from Atomic Habits. And I love that, because you probably have the same goal as many folks. I want to have a healthy life, a healthy business, I want to have time with my family and all that, but you may not have a system. And what I'm exposing you through the brand demand and delivery is a system that you can follow through and try to make the best, because you have already worked too hard to not enjoy the fruits of all the work you've done for 10, 15, 20 years. Thank you so much. If you want to get more information, check out the link over at the bottom, where you can get into the course and see what it's like and meet a lot of these people. We do masterminds every single Monday to help people achieve $250K to $1 million book of business. If you want to do that, if you want to be a fractional business owner, check out the link, and I'll see you on the other side.